It's your boy Kamal Hart on the chart, and today we're actually not going bar by bar. I saw a setup this morning and kind of had a revelation somewhat this morning, and I wanted to just kind of break it down on video, break it down on wax, and use this as a reference moving forward. So there's been a concept that I don't really talk about much in the videos, but is fundamental to my trading plan, which is a complete trading idea. Complete trading ideas are the ideas where you have a clear entry, a clear stop, and you have a decent idea of what the price might do over a quote unquote longer time frame after our scalp. So when I was looking at the market this morning, I was looking, when I showed up to the charts, this is pretty much when I had shown up, right? So as I was looking at these trades, I noticed that there was a failed second entry long right there. You could have gone short. And so then as I look at the market, at one point this bar had turned and started closing on its lows, setting up a second entry short. And I started thinking to myself, I said, hey, we're in the pre-market. Is this a trade that I really should be taking? And I said, you know what? The best trade, even though this is a setup, my best trade will probably be, because at the time I thought, this trade is going to trigger, it's going to do whatever it's going to do. My best setup is going to be a lower high off my key area. So I'll let this trigger, I'll let this go, and I'm gonna wait for that lower high trade. Okay. So we ended up not actually getting the favorable signal bar or breaking below in a way that would really tempt someone to go short. And then here at the open, you kind of get that reversal pattern. Um, we get the close above here. So at this point, you're kind of just wanting to see this play out. Although for a brief second, I considered, should I buy this? But I said, again, my best setup is probably going to be the lower high trade off this key area. So I need this trend to play out before I really go short. So I'm not really looking at that as an opportunity. And we finally get like a break outside of our trend. And at this point, it kind of feels like, well, maybe that idea, the lower high idea is done. But if you remember how we trade, we're looking for the break outside of our trend, and then we're going to go test these lows at some point. So I'm still looking for that same lower high trade. And then we get this kind of doji bar off these highs, and back in here prices were a little sideways, and so we had been contemplating maybe there's some sort of range going on. So at the time, as my idea is developing, I'm just looking at the range and saying, okay, well, we also might be in some sort of range as well, so I need to be mindful of that, right? But the key point that I'm trying to get at is that some of these people who went short, they got a little scalp, nothing much. That's not really the setup you're looking for. This is just the first entry. The signal bar is this green bar, so that's not really your entry. But right here, you get a lower high at the key area of the range that we're working on. Of this bigger trend, we have our breakout side, and now we're expecting our test of the lows. Of this smaller bull micro trend, we had a breakout side, move to a new high, and then even if this isn't convincing enough for you, we for sure get the breakout side, move to a new high. So everything, literally everything that we have on the chart has played out and is in position for the test of these lows. So I enter right there on one contract. I actually entered again there on a failed second entry, but that's besides the point. At this point, we are going a little sideways and we are right into the EMA, but I'm willing to overlook that just because everything else on the bigger picture is playing out. And then we eventually get the move down. We end up getting a move much larger than I even expected. And I thought that was very interesting that from back in here, I was waiting on a lower high trade, and it came in a different form, kind of off of a different setup, but it still plays out on every single level. And when you do take that trade, you gotta have your stop in the right place, because at one point I think my stop was right above the open, and I had to move it and put it where it goes above the signal bar. But if you manage the trade correctly, you end up with this huge winner right off the open. And that to me was kind of the lesson today, is that when you learn price action and you have enough conviction in your setups, you'll be stalking a trade all through this noise. And the second you get your trade, you know, you can really be in a profitable position. So all that to say that that's kind of what I'm working on with complete trading ideas, with being more convicted in the idea that I'm looking for in the morning. I'm not switching up my idea because there's a reversal pattern. I'm going to wait for the idea that fits the biggest context, and that's what's going to give me the biggest trades. Cool, real short. Like I said, this might be a series where I talk about complete trading ideas and how to formulate these bigger picture ideas and how to manage them correctly and stuff. So for now, this is just like the first installment and kind of like a practice run of that. But yeah, have conviction in your idea. Wait for your setup. When it comes, take it. Let the market do the rest. Okay, y'all. Come on, Heart. We out.